game I'm in, you ain't the same as him. I was made to win. There ain't no saving him. This is an awakening. As soon as my kid get in, it's bloody on blocks. I went from blades to blades.
They always talk about what could've been done. You ain't making moves with no income. And y'all ain't never seen me stressing. I don't ever go sweating, but there really could've been some. They always talk about what could've been done. You ain't making moves with no income. And y'all ain't never seen me stressing. I don't ever go sweating, cause I don't fuck with fake love.
Bro, I'm just getting in.
Just getting in now?
Yeah.
With the song and everything.
Alright, cool.
Let's get it.
Montreal, Côte Saint-Luc, and a lot of my time was spent in DG. Côte Saint-Luc, well, that's where I spent all the time with, a lot of my cultures around there. A lot of the Jewish, Moroccan people are out there. And DG is more like, I was there because of school. I went to Marymount for all my high school. Just school wasn't for me. I wasn't one of those people that was like, I could follow a book and study and do this. I never studied. I never had my interest, and just a couple people around me were into music around school, so that's really like just the start of getting everything going, being around, all these people. And Marymount's a multicultural school, you get a little bit of everything from the city all in one spot. So being in that was really able to expose me to like everyone's different type of like approach on music, anyone that was at least like involved in music. And also just problems and seeing like different people, sometimes you could forget, when you're in one of these community cities or towns, it's all your own people, and you kind of forget, what else is going on in the rest of the world, the rest of the city, the rest of the cultures, depending on what's going on, so definitely helped open my eyes to a lot of stuff. 25, born July 12th, 1992. Anu Budz, well, they originally called me Budz. Anyone who calls me Anu didn't really know me for too long, I can guarantee that. But Budz was the original name. That's just what I went by on the streets and all that. Anu came into my name for two reasons. One was definitely because I was getting a little bit more serious in the past couple of years with my music and my craft, and I had to make sure that the searchability was on point. And when you type in Budz, there's two things you're finding. You're finding Collie Buds, and you're finding buds, smoking buds, and that just you weren't finding me until a couple of pages down, or you had to type in Buds make way. It wasn't convenient. So Anu, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was enlightening me about Mesopotamian times where one of the gods there was Anu, and he was the god of gods. So he would tell everybody where you would go, what your place is. So let's say like you're the god of the seas, like you go there, and Anu would tell each person where they would be commanding, So when I came into this building, I kind of associated to that god, where like I could send out now the engineers to be a god of their realm. I could send out the photographers to be a god of their realm, and to really take control of the scene, since Makeway has really been at the center of everything that's happening in Montreal, at least in the urban music scene here with rap and R&B and everything. So it was just a cool feeling, and it kind of went with how I was living at the time, and still am, because we're still going strong. 3 years right now to l'Église in Verdun. Makeway, there was a bunch of reasons, and I'll just tell you how it started. Really, I was in the back room of Moore's, suited up, clean cut, and I was working a 9 to 5 every day, and I was just in the back there, and I was thinking, I'm like, damn, like, how do I get out of here? Like, how do I, like, I was just thinking, like, at the same time, like, how could I make my music, like, something professional and something that, like, people will really, like, take seriously? Because at the time, it was still something I was doing in my mom's basement, so there had to be a strong branding to make sure that people could see that this is something, a little bit more top than just a studio basement. So I was looking at all the big companies. There was Cash. Okay. Yeah, hold on. That was big. Yeah, so I was looking at all these big companies. There was Cash Money, there was Young Money, there was Rich Gang, there was Warner Brothers. All these like it was always these 2-syllable big words that were just really standing out. And when you hear them, it's like you already knew about it. You already know they're at the top. So when I was thinking of words, I definitely knew it had to be this bah, bah, you know, and then at the same time in the back of the store and everything's just going on in my brain, and I'm just like, yo, man, like, I gotta make way. Like, we gotta get rid of this, stop doing this. This isn't my life, this isn't me. I'm not comfortable fucking selling suits, you know, that's like, fuck that. You know, I wanna dress how I want, I wanna wear what I want, I wanna shave when I want, and you know, being successful doesn't mean that you have to be that man in a suit. I mean, that's where Make Way came from.
Nice.
I didn't really know what I wanted to be first, but it was all just kind of happening at the same time. You know, I started off as a gamer, you know, so we had headsets, you know, with the whole thing with the microphone on it, and eventually when I got too old, I just still had it around after, you know, but all my friends were like rapping now at school. So I was like, yo, like, let's try to record some of this shit. I have the headset, we could find a program and like whatever, you know, and we ended up doing it, and we kept doing it, and we kept doing it. It became like, you know, like, let's smoke a spliff and then go fucking record some music, and then 3 friends started doing it, and then 4 friends started doing it, and then I started, like, maybe towards, like, the first year, I started rapping with them after. So I was an engineer first, for sure, like, engineer, and then I started spitting, you know, and then 5 people became 20 became 40, and I was at the point where I was like, shit, like, I gotta take this out of my house. This is looking crazy, you know, my neighbors were thinking I was drug dealing. There were so many ins and out all day. It was popping. People really liked my work, you know, since the start, you know. So I decided I need to move out and I need to get my degree in this shit so I really know the basics and I really know what's going on, like, in the back work, you know, the technical side. So I did a year at Recording Arts Canada. I got that done, and yeah, man, ever since then it took off. I rented out a spot outside of my house. It was small, you know, it was very small, but it had a booth, and that's what I needed to get my work done. So I knew if I kept staying consistent, if I kept doing this every day, that it will eventually grow bigger, and it did. I stayed consistent. I stuck around the right people. I cut out the right people, and I made sure that everyone around me was, you know, doing or striving towards a similar goal. And it worked, you know, and I eventually moved up, and there was a studio down the hallway that went out of business in the building that I was renting out in, and I went right to the landlord. I'm like, yo, how much for that studio? It's already pre-built. I don't have to do anything. A big wood studio. All I had to do was plug my thing in, plug my computer in, and run the wires, and I could do it. I was like, yeah, let's get it, you know, and that was really the start to having a nice studio, and then everything else after that was just business. Like any business coming up, you know, it's money, it's staying consistent, it's staying confident that it is going to pay out one day. You know, it's taking the risk, not only taking the risk of putting everything into it, but just cutting out your social life a bit. You know, I stopped going clubbing a lot. I stopped hanging out with a lot of people. I stopped going to a lot of bars, and I really put all my efforts and always prioritized my work over friends and like having fun and going out or doing drugs or drinking or whatever it is. I always put my work ahead of that. And even when I'll be thinking in advance, like if I have something to do the next day, that becomes the priority, like for my time the night before. Like I'm not gonna go out after and stay out late with the rest of my people. And that was just one of the sacrifices I had to make sure that my company succeeds. And you know, people know me for always being on time, for being punctual, and for being 100% every session. So when it comes down to the studio and my work, you know, consistency is always going to help me grow, and it has. And it will continue to do so. I never really thought, you know, I never really thought too far ahead with it all. You know, all I was doing was just living day by day and always upgrading and moving with whatever life threw at me, you know, because the building where I thought I had it made at ended up getting torn down. So, you know, right away I was like, damn, all my thoughts that I had for the future of this spot are down the drain now. I have to find new grounds. I have to find a new place. So, I never really thought about it. No, I didn't think I was going to have my own building. I knew what I wanted to have. You know, I knew when I was speaking about it before I had this spot was that I need a building that's not connected to any neighbors, and like a spot where we could take all the services, all the things that an artist needs, and put them all in one house where we could be working 24/7 and not be disturbed by neighbors or restaurants or businesses or whatever it is. And I made it happen. Just my people, you know, just through freestyling and doing all this. Honestly, like before I had a studio, I didn't even like think about the industry. I didn't even think like an industry existed. Like it just wasn't a thought in my brain. We never thought, let's go hit up studios and let's go find video people. Like I was the studio, our boy was the video guy, and like to us, like nothing else really was there. Like we just like, that was the move to do the whole way through. I don't know, I didn't really, it was just my people that I was rapping with were the most inspiration. You know, anybody that I've seen develop themselves and get better at their craft is really what inspires me throughout this whole make way thing. You know, I've seen people start at nothing, barely knowing how to rap or how to stay consistent on a beat, or even stay on point on a beat, you know, evolve on their image and evolve on their flow and how they deliver. And to me, that's one of the most inspiring things, to see an artist get more comfortable in the booth and to see progression. No lie, like one of the most memorable moments was helping out an old boy of ours, C.E.O, man. You know, this is when I was just starting off, and he was the first person who really came to me for like help. And he was just like, man, he had cancer. It was in his lungs and his spreading to his jaw. And it was towards the end where like I never really, like, you know, he said it, he told me it was happening, but like I never really understood it until one day he came to my studio. That wasn't even fully built. We still didn't have the glass in. We just had the booth that were like blank walls, like nothing. And he saw that and he was like, yo, like, and he came to my house with a ball, like in his like, tennis ball almost. It was so big, this tumor in his jaw, and I was there and he was just like, bro, like, you know, like all this shit's been going on. And I've always been able to rap, but now it's to a point where it's like now they're starting to take that away from me. You know, like I need to spit what I have to spit before I can't speak no more. And to show and to see like the impact that music could have on his life, you know, in his last moments, to feel good about himself and to really get his last words in, you know, like that was powerful to me. So I put him in that booth that was half built, and like, and we recorded a couple tracks, and they were dope. He was a dope MC, and just hearing about him pass after that and shit, like it was hard, and it was definitely like a big moment for me to say, like, you know, like we gotta keep making this. We gotta stay consistent. We gotta do this for our people. We gotta continue their message, and we gotta keep running, man. Cause you know, for music, this is a thing that some people, it's all they have. So knowing that, you know, it makes me put my all into everyone's projects, and yeah, man, you know, it was definitely some powerful shit, and I was on my startup, so I mean, you know, rest in peace to C.E.O, though, for real. Anu Budz, make way shit all day.
Nice.
Some of the biggest acts were Riff Raff, Raekwon, Onyx, Mano. We had Omar Links up in here. Yeah, we definitely had some cool cats up. Mick Jenkins was also a really good guy to work with. He came in with K Tronada and High Class. All very dope artists. You know, when I work with artists of that caliber, you know, people who are already like in the industry, who made it, you know, you see why they made it. You see why they have a team around them as they do, because their work ethic is unlike anyone else. It's what they do. It's just like the speed that they're working at, the focus that they have when they're in the booth. You could tell there's a difference from like the day-to-day person who comes by. Because I mean, look, I mean, when you're getting paid for it, and when it's finally you're getting back, you know, all the effort, you know, that you're finally seeing people recognize you, and like, you know, it helps your motivation. So you can see these guys when they're in the booth, they really give it their all. Like the whole world's about to hear it, because you know, sometimes when they drop it, it really is the whole world, or at least most of it, that's seeing their shit. So you got to be on point with it. Yo, if you want to start your own studio, yo, be 100, be professional. A lot of people are doing it out of their house now. It is possible. Just if you're trying to do it as a business, if you're trying to get a clientele base, be professional, be on time, and be clear with your work and how much you charge. Also know your self-worth. But at the same time, you know, like anything, when it comes down to money, when you're dealing with companies, labels, or even a day-to-day artist, you need to be clear with what you're charging. You got to be clear with everything that's going down when it comes down to money, because bad business will ruin a relationship, and that's the one thing that could hurt somebody who's very talented, is bad business. Yeah, Almost Deaf, I got featuring Anu Budz, the mixtape, which is coming out, which is all the features I've done with local artists. Just, get people on that Budz. There's a lot of stuff that's unreleased or that never really found a project, so these are just going to be all the featured tracks that I jumped on with people, and there's tons of them, and it's cool, man, just to see the dynamic of Montreal. There's definitely going to be a lot of cool stuff with that. Yeah, for sure, I want to shout out the whole Make Way team, Hugo Holbelge, mastering and graphic designer, Etienne Durocher, he does the photography, the directing, and any music videos for artists. We also have Giuliano, he's another engineer that's recently come on the team. We have a number of producers that are out here. Shout out to Mbaya, he's the one who's been really helping me out with a lot of my stuff recently. We have the new division of Make Way, which is Make Way Radio. So I definitely have to shout out Blocka, Tech Luciano, DJ Blaster for holding it down with us. We got Sammy Real on that now. We got Selective Blondie on that. And it's just great to see everyone come together. Even Jomo, who we've been running with since the old radio companies, he's come on board. And it's just great to see all of them there now really building this subdivision of Make Way, which really helps us get the media for the artists that record here out. It also helps us get Make Way as media to cover events, which is something we weren't able to do before. As far as shout-outs also, I got to shout out the realest, the illest, Bamboo Twigs for always holding it down and always keeping shit real. Always respect that, I see you, man. You always put in your consistency, and I appreciate you having me here. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Anu Budz. We're in Make Way Studios right now, and this is Young and Legendary. Let's get it. Yeah. Y'all already know who the fuck it is. It's your boy Anu Budz. Make Way. Let's get it, man. Yeah. As awful as the offers made to me from my apartment days, I'm pocketing profits now from the hustle that my name is made. I paved the way and that's my make, you cannot take from me. I take a seat, they seek an asylum like I got heat for cheap. So why did they expect you to go give it when you got it? See, I got it through my problems, no one gave me other options. Just stop it, I'm coughing my heart out on all these topics. And as far as the I can see that they imposters. If they heard it, they can rip it. No one's perfect in this business, but the worst is the weight that they hold while unsure if they victims. You can wear it if that shoe fits, cause half of these actors are actually asking for ass kickings. Homie, they thinking backwards. Hey, there's a reason people with dues will never get they come up, cause they come up was funded by ones who really had it coming. More than 50% of the people that you started with are likely to be plotted on your final move and take your biz. Hey, I keep it running, yeah, I've made a couple laps. See, they falling off the side like the world was flat. I'm certified for my mind, but don't be minding the facts. But fantasy ain't paying bills, so don't be pitching me that. But ask yourself, where's your passion in the raps that you have? Half of the new quit and then perish and they tear at your ass. And that ain't the shit that I'm living, homie, that shit won't last. But it be buds and bamboo twigs, get in the bag, this shit be lit. Yeah, you know what's up, man. Let's make way all day. Ain't never gonna give up, ain't never gonna stop that grind.